What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dricus du Plessis sends a warning to Sean Strickland. Now that Dricus du Plessis has defended the UFC's middleweight crown, talk is shifting to what a rematch with Sean Strickland will look like. Case in point, following DDP's big win over Israel Adesanya on Saturday, the champion issued a warning to the polarizing star. Leading up to UFC 305, there was no shortage of discussion around who would fight for the title next. Many argued that the October 26 fight between Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev could serve as a title shot eliminator, but Dana White announced that Strickland is going to get his wish and is next in line. During the post-fight presser, of course, DDP was asked to comment on how a rematch with Strickland will go. The South African champion had this to say.
Yeah, going into that Strickland fight now, I know. I've been in there with him. He can't handle what I have. He can't handle what I have to offer. So, yeah, this time I can finish him. I mean, we saw it. Yeah, he beat Izzy. Now we have a comparison. That's how you finish someone.
And when DDP was asked about whether we could see a heated feud leading up to the rematch, similar to what unfolded ahead of his fight with Adesanya, du Plessis responded with this cheeky comment.
I don't know. I mean, does he want to cry again?
Even before White confirmed Strickland would fight for the belt next, DDP let it be known that he doesn't think the American should get another shot at the title just yet. After UFC 305, DDP reported he thinks Bobby Knuckles should be up.
We know the winner.
Robert Whittaker.
There we go. Thank you for that.
Robert Whittaker deserves the shot. I think he's being done over. Whittaker beat Costa. The only thing, Robert Whittaker, Sean Strickland's only saving grace here is the fact that he won a decision.
Yep.
With me. That's it.
Well, after Saturday's card, Sean O'Malley shared via his YouTube channel that he believes Strickland should get a chance to avenge his narrow loss to du Plessis.
I knew that DDP versus Sean Strickland 2, the first fight was very, very, very close. Could have given it to Sean Strickland. He was the champion at the time, and I feel like if you're going to beat the champion in a split decision, it's got to be more dominant than that. So that was a very, very close fight. That's going to be a fun one to run back. Sean Strickland versus DDP. I forgot about that, dude. Shit. I think those guys could fight 10 times. It's a coin flip every time.
But what do you think? Are you on board with the UFC's plans to run DDP Strickland back? Or would you have preferred if they had waited to see how the Whittaker-Chimaev fight goes? Okay, up next, Joe Rogan reacts to Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree. The MMA world continues to react to the news that Khalil Rountree is going to battle the UFC's light heavyweight king Alex Pereira next. While Joe Rogan is clearly amped to see how the fight unfolds, he also understands why plenty of people have been asking why isn't Magomed Ankalaev fighting for the title instead. Following Pereira's jaw-dropping stoppage of Yuri Prohaska at UFC 303, the consensus was that Ankalaev would be next for the champion. After all, the Dagestani fighter is ranked number 2 in the UFC's 205 division, and he hasn't lost a fight since 2018. So when it was announced he's fighting Alexander Rakic at UFC 308 in October, more than a few eyebrows were raised. Well, during Rogan's UFC 205 watch-along, the Pereira versus Rountree fight was brought up. Rogan and Brendan Schaub proceeded to weigh in on the booking. While doing so, Rogan acknowledged that Ankalaev should probably be next, but he also shot down the argument that Rountree shouldn't be fighting for the belt on account of testing positive for the banned substance DHEA.
And Dana's announced some beastie fights lately.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about Khalil Rountree, although the purist in me is like, what about Ankalaev? Ankalaev should be next for the title, right?
I mean Khalil, yeah, I hear Khalil's won 5 in a row. And at light heavyweight?
Yeah, right, for sure. But
Ankalaev also had a draw, right? He had the law, like, it hasn't been that exciting. And I get it. The purist goes, well, it doesn't matter if it's exciting. If he's winning, you got to give him a title shot.
I know Jamal Hill posted he was mad,
bro.
Jamal was mad because Khalil had failed a drug examination, but they knew exactly what that was about. It was about something that's it's DHEA.
It doesn't help your performance.
Help your performance at all. It's just a banned substance.
Yes.
And it's an accidental ingestion. It's not something that you would get any benefit from.
It'd be different if he tested hot for like DECA and they had him in a title fight.
Not only that,
then we got a problem.
He informed them the moment he found out his shit had DHEA in it. And they only gave him a 2-month suspension. So he didn't do anything wrong.
But also, I think too, just for Alex, like, this is his story, right? Like, they need a main event, and Clive is already paired up. So Khalil's won 5 in a row. He's ready to go.
Who's Ankalaev fighting next?
There you have it. But where do you come in? Do you think Ankalaev should have been next for Poatan? Next, let's take a look at Daniel Cormier reacts to huge win from Kai Kara France. Not only did Kai Kara France return to the win column at UFC 305, He did so by becoming the first man to date to finish Steve Erceg. So, following the card, Daniel Cormier didn't hold back in heaping praise on the flyweight contender. Kai was competing for the first time since June of 2023 when he dropped a split decision to Amir Albazi. That fight followed Kara France's decision loss to Brandon Moreno in July of 2022, which was for the interim flyweight crown. So, given that Erceg was coming off an impressive and very competitive loss to the champion Alexandre Pantoja, many people were expecting Kai to be headed for a third straight defeat. Kai Kara France's ridiculously heavy hands, however, had something to say about that, as he put away Erceg in the opening round. After the event, Cormier offered this take on Kara France's performance via his YouTube channel.
Kai Kara France has been going for a long time. He's been going for a year. And you can see how emotional he was after he won that fight. He knocks out Steve Erceg in the first round. I asked Kai, you are a flyweight, man. You fight at 125. How do you have 12 first-round finishes? He believes in himself. He believes in himself. He believes in the power, and he has shown time and time again that he can beat anyone. And tonight, he did something that the champion couldn't even do, and that was stop Steve Erceg. Big night for Kai Kara France, and a big reintroduction of him to the division.
Yep. If anyone had closed the book on Kara France being a top contender at 125 moving forward, that book has been blasted back wide open. Israel Adesanya reveals huge mistake at UFC 305. Israel Adesanya failed in his bid to become a 3-time UFC middleweight champ on Saturday, and the star knows that a crucial mistake he made is a key reason why. If you watched UFC 305, then you know that the headliner between Plessis and Adesanya definitely delivered on the hype. While the fight was not necessarily a banger, it featured plenty of memorable exchanges between two of the best fighters on this planet. As round 4 began, it was starting to look like Adesanya was pulling ahead and the champion appeared to be slowing. But that was until Plessis took him down and proceeded to secure a fight-ending choke. While talking to the media afterward, the last stylebender acknowledged that he made a crucial mistake while trying to defend the choke attempt.
I tried to fight the top hand, and I don't know what mistake I made, because I tried to turn into him, but then he got on my back because I was using the fence, maybe, and he switched to a gable grip, and then I wasn't able to separate the hands like I wanted to. I have to watch it properly, like, to really see what happened, but I felt great. He didn't really surprise me in it because I knew it was tough.
What also appears to be over is the nasty feud that Adesanya and Plessis had for months leading up to their scrap. Following the fight, Izzy congratulated DDP on the win via social media. "I'm happy I got to fight again. Appreciate all the energy from yous. Congrats Dricus Plessis. Thank you for your honest words and speaking your truth. No matter what, Africa won tonight. DDP, you have the torch. Light the fire and inspire." Do you think we could see these two fight again at some juncture? The UFC reacts to judge being replaced mid-event. One of the more interesting / surprising storylines that emerged from UFC 305 was the commission's decision to pull a judge from scoring the co-headliner between Kai Kara France and Steve Erceg. Why was that decision made? Well, it was because that the judge, Howie Booth, scored the Tai Tuivasa Jairzinho Rozenstruik scrap 30-27 for Tai. If you saw that fight, you know it was super clear that Jairzinho won that fight. After all, Rozenstruik outstruck his fellow slugger by a 92-37 margin. After the event, UFC executive Dave Shaw outlined how and why the commission likely decided to yank the judge from calling the co-main event.
I guess someone made the call on, the performance was probably not worth keeping them involved for the rest of the night, so.
And not surprisingly, when that decision was conveyed during Joe Rogan's watch-along stream, it prompted quite the reaction.
Have you ever heard of them pulling a judge off the card during the fight?
No, I haven't.
That happened just a little bit
No
ago.
Why? For what scorecard?
The Tai Tuivasa fight.
Oh, because he gave it.
All 3 rounds, Tai Tuivasa has been relieved of his duties for the rest of the night. Wow.
They said Howie hit the shot.
Pretty hard to argue with the commission's decision, right? Okay, now let's look at Johnny Walker's shocking reaction after brother wins UFC fight. Johnny Walker's younger brother, Valter, recorded a first-round finish at UFC 305. And the light heavyweight celebration wasn't exactly something we're accustomed to seeing. Valter faced the hard-hitting Junior Tafa at the event, and while cranking a heel hook, Tafa screamed out and the fight was called. Not long after, Johnny congratulated his bro via social media, and by doing a backflip off a boat. Johnny's career hasn't panned out maybe in the way a lot of people thought, but there's no doubt he remains a ridiculously athletic light heavyweight. Sean O'Malley reacts to Merab Dvalishvili altercation. You probably know that Merab Dvalishvili has been making headlines recently, not because of a run-in he had with Sean O'Malley, but because he went after a heckler at a grappling event in Las Vegas. Well, as one would expect, O'Malley didn't hold back on sharing his thoughts on the altercation. O'Malley is booked to fight Dvalishvili at UFC 306 on September 14th. In the recent video stream that Sugar produced via his YouTube channel, O'Malley lit up Merab over the incident.
Someone said that I was his dad or that I was gonna win, and Merab just lost it. True stoicism at its finest. That is stoicism at its finest. So Merab freaks out, climbs the fence, damn near falls over. It's a 3-foot fence. He tries to jump over the bleacher fence. Someone needs to push him up from the butt. He gets over the fence. He storms up the stairs. And he doesn't know what to do with this guy. So he grabs his hair, which is assault. And he could be sued for assaulting a civilian. Will you guys please, from the bottom of my heart, quit making fun of Merab? He can't handle it. He's very insecure. His nose is up. He doesn't need you guys telling him that I'm his dad.
Now, it should be noted that O'Malley acknowledged that he isn't certain what the fan actually said to Merab. He only heard the guy make a joke about O'Malley being his daddy, or that he was going to win. But regardless of what was said, it seems pretty clear Dvalishvili isn't someone to mess with. Dan Hooker accidentally leaks a UFC fight card set for February of next year. During a recent interview, Dan revealed how he has a baby on the way and is expecting it to be due in February. But he then accidentally leaked that the UFC are planning an event in Sydney, Australia for February as well. Here's what Dan had to say.
Man, like, when would you like to turn around? Do you want to get one more in this year, or are you okay with waiting next year?
I'd like to get one more in this year. I've got another baby on the way. Congrats. Due in February. So I'd like to knock one out.
Actually, yeah, well, that's a concern, right?
We'll be cutting them fine.
February's
There's another card in. Can I say that?
There's a card in Sydney in February.
Yeah. But it's like a couple of days before my wife's due, so it's like you're cutting it a bit fine there, champ.
Well, yeah, the stress on her and all.
Yeah. I'm not gonna stress the missus out like that. So yeah, knock another one out this year. That'll be incredible, and then fight for the title next year, I guess.
Top comments. Why do you guys keep giving Till a voice? We don't care what he has to say. Dude's washed and irrelevant. Stop voicing for him. Sean needs to get off social media. It's really not doing him any good. Ankalaev didn't want to fight anywhere but Abu Dhabi. You snooze, you lose. Stop trying to call the shots. Crash Bandicoot always looks like he's going to lose. Then all of a sudden, he has his hand raised in victory. Dricus du Plessis reminds me of Crash Bandicoot for some reason.